Another year, another iPhone. And this year, it's the iPhone 7. Now, chances are you already know what's new, but owning one of these devices day in and day out definitely gives you a new perspective. And it's a great phone. Not perfect, but it's really great. The design is a refinement this year. As Johnny Ive said, it's an evolution of the original founding design. But while it looks very similar, it definitely has a distinct look and feel. I think it's mostly because of the buttons and the use of haptic feedback. In terms of the buttons, they seem to be more clicky, especially the power button. The volume buttons are different too. They no longer have that semi-chamfered concave bedding, but instead stand alone on the device. There's also a brand new home button. It's solid state, which basically means that there's no actual clicking. It uses haptic feedback to essentially emulate the sensation of a click. It almost feels as if you're clicking on a new MacBook trackpad. It takes about a day or so to get used to, but after that, you'll forget about it. You can also choose between 3 different levels of clickage, or clicking, or clap. I've still been deciding between 2 and 3, but 3 definitely feels more like a click in my opinion. Back to what I was saying before about the haptic feedback. They definitely seem to be more prominent with iPhone 7. For instance, every time you swipe up for the control center or swipe down for the notification shade, or even deleting an email or running your finger through the 3D touch menus, you get a little haptic tick. It makes a very digital element feel almost physical. So in addition to the new refined design, we also have 2 new finishes. Really, really black, and really, 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 really black. And my god, these 2 phones are beautiful. Jet black really stands out though. There's something really quite elegant and sleek about it. You really have to get your hands on one to truly appreciate the beauty of the phone. Now, in my opinion, the jet black is without a doubt a new look and feel for iPhone. You can barely see the antenna lines, and the Apple logo and literature is barely visible. It's also incredibly hard to believe that this phone is made from metal. It feels like nothing else, almost glass, but not really, and it has much more grip and presence in your hand than the aluminum phones. Yeah, it scratches scary easily, and it's a fingerprint mecca, but I'm willing to live with it. When it comes to performance, there is no comparison. Super snappy, super good at multitasking, and stutters are non-existent. I mean, this is the type of phone that makes you wonder, how can it get any faster than this? I'll probably have an answer by next year. I'm also getting just about a day's worth of battery, which is an improvement over the 6S. But then it's not, because something had to be removed to make room for that bigger battery and the new Taptic engine. And honestly, I understand the removal of the headphone jack. I mean, it was bound to happen at some point, and I would be lying if I said it was super easy to get used to, because if you say wanted to charge up said phone while listening to some music, Johnny Ive basically just bear smacked your phone on the floor. Cause, you know, courage. I mean, this is the future. Headphone jacks are on their way out. I mean, we said the same thing with the 30 pin and the optical drive, and if you're old enough to remember, the floppy disk, and we whined and moaned, but after a while, you'll realize that it takes change to make change. Another thing that I've been using a lot lately is the camera, and I'll be honest, I really don't see that much of a difference in between the 6S and the 7. I will say the colors seem a bit more accurate, but it's not enough for me to say, holy wow, go buy one right now. No, don't get me wrong, it's a great camera, if not one of the best smartphone cameras out there. But in comparison to the 6S, I can't say that I see that much of an improvement. I am excited, however, to test out the 7 Plus with the dual cameras, so stay tuned for that review. One thing that has definitely improved though is the audio. In addition to the downward-facing speaker, yes, only one, they now have the earpiece speaker doubling as a full-fledged regular speaker. It makes for this semi-off-balanced audio experience, but it's definitely noticeable. I mean, it's no Nexus 6P, but it does make a difference. Also, a weird thing that people have been saying is that it only works in landscape mode, but I've been able to get it to work in portrait the whole entire time. So not sure what's happening there. And that's really been the bulk of my experience with the iPhone 7. For some, it may seem like a stepping stone until Apple releases the highly anticipated next generation, but besides that, iPhone 7 is a great phone. Especially if you're coming from a 5S or a 6, it's a killer upgrade. Well, that's if you can get your hands on one.